And I keep I keep going over time on my video. I need to remember to look at that little clock down there. Okay, if you're not already up to date where you can draw up to, what I showed before. So this is what I want you to be able to do from memory right now. I'm just going to go through it really quick. And you should be able to do this from memory. And if not, then you should practice until you have this memorized. And you should be able to do it quickly, because if you're able to do this quickly, then you know you have it memorized. So I'm going to do it pretty quick. You have your square there cut in half. Belly button just goes a little bit below that. We go ahead and duplicate that square coming down. And then we know that a little bit less than half comes down like this. And you have your feet there. From there to there, you have almost that same length, almost a half of the block coming up. And that brings your head in like so. And remember from there to there, you have almost that same length coming up. So there to there, that's where the breast will start, and the rib cage starts right below that. And so we can draw a rib cage in, like so. And then remember that the arms come a little bit just above belly button. And then the wrist come just above the crotch area. And actually I did that. It looked right at first, but it wasn't. Arms really aren't that long. It's easy to make them too long. And then like this, and then the hands come a little bit below the crotch, not much. Then you have this kind of shape like, remember we kind of did that shape like that. And then from here to here, about halfway, and there's your knees, which we just can just draw two lines like that. You don't have to draw the whole rectangle. And then your legs are going to connect to that. So you can kind of come out like so. Remember the widest part will be right at the crotch there. So that's where. Then you have that shape. So if you don't have all that memorized, everything I just did, then remember that's the main. Oops, I made that way thin. That's your main bend. Now remember the breast then start, and you do the heart shape for the breast. So you kind of, remember they're going to kind of go like this. Oops. That shape there, and that leaves you with the black triangles there. Okay, so if you don't have this memorized, these shapes here memorized, then if you can't do all that from memory, what I just did, then I recommend to go back and watch the first two videos and keep practicing until you get this part right here down. Once you get that part down, then you're ready to rock and roll. We're able to add in this other information. And so the information that we've added then, and I can't remember if we already did this or not, but oh well, we'll do it again. You have your ears and you have your collarbones. You draw the two little lines for the collarbones, and the muscles connected at the back of the ear to that collarbone. Those just like two little thin lines like that. That's the little muscles. You usually won't be able to see them, especially in a female, but you want to know that they're there, and that gives that little dark spot. The collarbone comes off to the shoulder, but it comes behind the shoulder, so it disappears. And then this neck comes down and curves like this. Again, remember we have this little that's why I want you to memorize that triangle shape, because that triangle shape right there helps you memorize this little flap of skin that comes in and connects to the breast. And I just drew two little lines there to kind of hint at more breast, and it comes out like that. You have the hint at the rib cage, sucks in. And then the shoulder, remember that it comes out almost like that at first, and then it kind of, so the shape is kind of like this, and then almost straight, and then imagine like that at first, and then you have that shape like that. And the shoulder comes almost to the nipple, to about there, and on that side. So now next thing we have here is our bicep, which I just kind of draw in like that at first, and then you have your pit here, your elbow pit. So I just hint at it with a little line there. And we'll do the same thing on this side here. We'll just kind of draw in the shape of the bicep like that. And I want to show you real quick. See, the arms actually connect. The bicep there connects, and you have that triangle like that. I could actually make the breast a little bit higher even. This part of the breast a little bit higher. Because that triangle. And again, that's why I wanted you to memorize that triangle shape. Then you have, in this case, you'd have this back side, because then you'd have like your armpit right here. So it'd actually be like that. This drawing is a little different, so you'd actually see the armpit there on that side. And maybe on this side I wouldn't, because it'd be like this. So on this side I wouldn't be able to see the armpit. The arm just comes straight off. On that side maybe I can slightly see the armpit there. Just kind of hint at it. And this is all information you're adding now. So this is why you want to have that first part, all that first information that I just went through added into your memory, where you can do all that real fast from memory. And then you can start adding this to your memory. And then keep practicing from your mind, and eventually, this will become part of your memory too. So we're adding a lot of information here. So just right now, we've already added a lot of information. Those two muscles, the way the shoulders, how far they come up, where the breast set, and all that, where these lines come in, and this is all a lot of information we're adding. And the next thing we're going to look at is the arm that connects to here. The outer arm is wider, like a longer line. It starts a little bit higher than the elbow, because your top muscles that come here, these top muscles that come in here like this, those muscles. Then you have the shorter muscle that comes underneath whatever. So look at some biology books to see what I mean. See this muscle here, this line, then is going to be shorter than this line out here. So just remember, the outside line is longer than the inside line, because you have like this little space here for the elbow, and that cuts this line short. Okay, so we'll just think of it that way, I guess. So remember that this cuts this line short. So this line is going to, come in, and it's going to come into the wrist, and then this line will actually come out a little bit longer than that one, and it'll come to the wrist like that. Almost out of time again, which is fine because we've added a lot of information here. So it's almost like a little straight line there for the pit of the arm, and so this is the side of the wrist kind of. So, and I'm thinking that I'm going to end it, so I'm not going to add any further information. So we got your little armpit there. This part comes out a little bit. That's shorter. So remember, that's the basic shape of the lines there for the muscle. Remember, you have the little pit like that, so it's like a little line. And then you have, this part that comes in like this. And this one, comes out farther. And you have the straight part for the wrist. This muscle right here is actually quite short. Okay, so we add information.